What is up, guys? Welcome here. Welcome back. Got a bit of a different video today than what you're probably used to from this channel. And it's going to be a bit of a showcase of the different factions that I have for my medieval armies, displays, and what have you. And maybe give you guys some ideas for what you could do, and maybe you could give me some ideas for what I could do. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Okay, so first up is going to be my Forestmen little army. And you're probably wondering why I have white gloves on. Well, it's honestly because I feel like when you just have bare hands and stuff, it kind of takes away from the figures, the colors, and what have you. So that is why I am wearing gloves, so you can get a little bit better of a picture. Now I'm just going to go through these and give you my ideas for what I imagine them being in the army, because obviously the Forestmen are a bit of more of a ragtag faction, and a bit of what my lore is for the Forestmen faction. Now a lot of these aren't actually done and finished. I got to get more pieces to complete them, but this is just where we're at as of now. So for this little fella here, he's more like the leader of the Forestmen. This is the what I would assume the leader would look like. This more elderly looking fella here. So we'll stick him at the back, and actually we'll just go ahead and move all these characters off screen. And this would be his companion wife, I assume. I guess this is like a hooded piece for females. I'm not sure what the idea of this is. I wish there was some sort of white cloak that you could get for this. I think it would look really cool to have a white cloak. But yeah, I just got them holding shields right now. I prefer them to be holding something else, to be honest with you, like a staff or something. But I just don't have those pieces yet. I'm really not personally a big mock building type guy, so I've never had a lot of pieces to work with and to build with. So I've just made a little order on Pick a Brick with, of each of the factions, and then I'm gonna go from there. Decide what I want to do from there. This lady right here, I really like this hairpiece with this braided thing back here, and I don't know why that hole's there. Obviously you can put something in it, but I'm not sure what it would be. I don't know if there's like a ribbon piece for like normal modern minifigures, but let me know on that one. And this is just obviously just like a more peasant-y, or someone who stays at the village or whatever, or trees. I mean, I guess they basically live out of trees, to be perfectly honest with you. And then I got another female over here, just threw her together. Put a hairpiece on her. Now, this is where it gets kind of fun, in my personal opinion. This guy right here, as well as this guy, I would call them going out and scouting, essentially. This is basically scouts. So I gave him some backpacks and some satchels to carry extra stuff. I really don't like how there's a piece, it's like a reversible head, so I'll just have to fix that, obviously, at some point. But yeah, I know this is like a illegal technique, or whatever you want to call it, because the backpack's bent out, but I really don't care because I like the look of the satchel with the backpack. So yeah, there's your two little scouts. Now next I have is some archers. Now the archers are just gonna come with a bow, a satchel, and a quiver, but technically this is probably a legal building technique, but I really don't care. I really don't care about illegal building techniques when it comes to minifigures. But it really doesn't put no stress on the satchel itself. I think it does pretty good having the satchel with the quiver over top of it. And it looks like he's like carrying some stuff or whatever you want to do for your lore. So, got a couple of archers for them. Next, I've got this basically swordsman or whatever you want to call them. with a longsword, I believe this is called. Basically not doing anything too crazy with them. I mean, they are like ragtag forest people, so there's really not too much I want to do with them, like putting armor on them or whatnot. This guy comes with a more shorter sword. So that is him. And this guy I made just to have a different, unique type of guy. Give him 2 small swords. And no children. No little children in this little forest setup that I got going on here. So that's my Forestmen faction so far. Now here I have the Black Falcon faction that I put together. This was a lot funner to put together just because they're more of a military based faction, and you honestly can just do more with them in terms of armor and what have you. So to start off with, I just made this guy. I made a little mage type of character. I guess he's like kind of Magisto, but he's a bit younger. Gave him a beard. I would like to give each faction obviously a real leader, maybe with a crown, except the Wolfpack and Forestmen, just because they're more not part of everyday society. Next, I have some archers. Now, for the Forestmen, I kept them like male and female, but for the Black Falcons, I really didn't care, or I really wanted to make sure that they were all females, and I gave them that satchel as well as the quiver yet again with some different hair pieces. This one I need to get a different hairpiece for. The problem is finding one that fits outside of the quiver, just because it can make contact with that and push the hairpiece up and not sit on the top of the head correctly. So that is my archery little regimen for the Black Falcons. Next up, I've got this Viking shield, and I put it on to just black sword wielding character with a normal black kettle helmet, I believe this is called. And I think it looks really good. This shield looks so good with this faction, just because of the belt and into the leg piece is that same maroonish color. I think it's called like reddish brown or something. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what the color palette and fancy names are for the Lego pieces, but I think this does really good for having a bit of variety instead of just the typical Black Falcon shield on all of them. So I liked having a few guys that had this Viking shield. Now, just like I had for the Forestmen, I made a scout type character, and you guys are gonna love this, but I gave him a sword in the satchel because obviously Black Falcon scouts are probably gonna be carrying around. I'm not sure why it's popping off like that. It's really odd. It's not making contact with anything. So I don't know why it's like popping off easily. That's really odd. It is not, I don't think it's making contact. Look, like the satchel's off the shoulder and not even touching it. I push it down as far as it can, but it's coming off pretty easily. So that's kind of odd. This helmet piece is actually from like Knight's Kingdom 2. So, but gave him a satchel, and instead of a backpack, obviously I put the sword through the satchel, maybe like a bit more than just a scout. So I liked creating that little character and giving them a different head piece is also nice to do. Now, I am not too much of a fan of this body armor piece, but I gave 2 of them that armor piece because it does block the faction logo and stuff like that. I really don't like to block it because I like the look of the faction showing on the minifigure, but I just gave it to 2 of them just to break it up a little bit. I wish it was actually black to match the kettle helmet, but I also gave him a different type of sword. I feel like this is more of a Middle Eastern type sword, maybe for an Egyptian type faction. That would be fun to do one day. But I just gave him something different as of now until maybe I get something different that I like. But that is a more heavily armored character in my Black Falcon army. And then you have the typical just shield and sword character. So nothing too crazy with this, and I like giving them all black helmets, except these 2 just to break it up a little bit. But I really like this black helmet, especially for the Black Falcons, because it goes so well with their silver and gray arms and legs. And then just to give somebody something extra, I made this female character that can, I guess, go along with the little leader mage wizard guy over there. So nothing too crazy, just hairpiece. I like how it goes along the front of the shoulder like that. I really like that. But that is my Black Falcon faction army as of now. Next, we have the Lion Knights. Now, these are what I would assume be the basically pinnacle of Lego Kingdoms. They're like the most well-to-do faction. They got the most wealth, I would say, or well-equipped characters. That's why I have the most of them. I really don't feel like expanding anymore, because it's like, what are you going to do with them? You can only put so many on display and stuff. Like, I'm not building 100 minifigure mocks. I just like putting together a couple in and around the Lion Knights castle, to be honest with you, and this is plenty. But let's go through these individually, starting with the king. Now, at some point, I'm obviously going to get a king with a crown, but I thought it was cool to use this hairpiece with this beard. Now, I used a guy with a bit of orange beard sideburns like that, and obviously a little ponytail at the back, so like he's grown his hair out and basically just, you know, living his little Lego life, I guess. Now, as for his companion, I gave the white little cloak piece, basically hood, I guess, to a female, as well as the white shield. I also have the queen from Lion Knights Castle, but man, I missed out on the white legs, because they have a pair of white legs. Everything you see blue right there on the legs is white. Man, I'd love to get one of them. I wish they made a torso like that, but obviously you can change the arms to white, but I wish that in the blue on the torso right there was white as well. That would be such a cool regal looking character if they ever made something like that. Next up is my scouts again. Now, this guy is pretty loaded down. He's got a satchel, a sword, a backpack, as well as a shield, and this silly helmet. I really don't like these helmets, but it's something different to break it up. But I kind of like how it looks. Like, he's really loaded down, scouting stuff out. I think it's pretty unique and cool to add to their little military setup, and I always make sure that I have 2 of them. Next up, we got some typical archers. They're all going to look like this. Again, females with this helmet. I try to use different helmets for different factions, but Blind Knights are so big, they've got multiple different helmets. So I don't mind using a lot of different ones for the Lion Knights. Now, as for part of the archery, I don't know what you would call it, archery regimen, I made two elderly guys. So, and they have crossbows. One is Whitebeard, one is Orangebeard, just like the king, I guess you could call him. And they have that black bow. I wish it was brown, but as of now, that's what I've got. And they're obviously wearing quivers as well, so they're kind of a part of the archery team, but really not. They're kind of on their own. Okay, now I have the more heavily armored people. I have the helmet that comes down and has like the multiple lines on the face. It's like almost looks like a helmet that you use for fencing, like in modern day fencing. But I decided to use this helmet. I don't like how it doesn't match the gray, but as of now, I'm just going to leave it. I know this is kind of a Viking type style helmet, but I just wanted something that looks different, because I hate just using 1,000 of the same helmet. So I really like just to be able to break it up just a bit and, you know, give it a little bit something different. And I did not mention that if you could see the king and queen. So there are two torsos to the Lion Knights. One has a more gold barding to it around the waist and up at the neck, and one is more plain, and even on the backs they're a bit different. I believe this one's more expensive, so because it's got a little bit more printing. And keep in mind, you can always turn these around and use the backs to make it look a bit different than the front if you ever wanted to. Just pop off the arms and put them on backwards, I guess. So yeah, I gave the king and queen the more royal looking one and leave all the other guys to the more standard. And then I've got still quite a few that I don't have built yet that will become something at some point. So give me some ideas on what I should add to this army. I don't want to add any more along the lines of archers or bowmen or basically heavily armored guys. I kind of want to do something else now, like maybe 2 more of 4 and 4 or something like that. I think it would look pretty cool, but that as of now is my Lion Knight army. And as for my Wolfpack, I just got the torsos because I knew that they were going to sell out soon. So I was able to pick up about 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got 12 actually. So I've got some of them as of now. I just need legs, obviously. I think the dual molded legs, I think, are probably going to look the best on them. And these guys are obviously going to be more very random and not well put together. They're all going to be very unique and very individual, because that's what I imagine the Wolfpack being, is just a bunch of guys that got kicked out of the Lion Knights, Black Falcons, and even the Forestmen, and went and made their own little ragtag group of characters. And I cannot wait for the Wolfpack Stronghold from Bickling Designer Series 6 to come out next spring, because I'm really excited to get those special shields and stuff. So that'll be really cool to get those. But as for now, this is my Wolfpack faction army. Well, that is going to do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed seeing my factions and whatnot. Not anything too crazy right now, but just putting together a couple of things. I really don't want like hundreds and hundreds of minifigures. I think that gets a little too crazy to keep track of, but it's fun to have a bunch of different random parts on hand to be able to make different, unique, and cool minifigures. But as of now, I'm just putting together a little group of each the classic factions, so that I'll always have them. And so let me know if you got any ideas, and I'm gonna get on out of here. So Hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video.